Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Jahan, 180. 44. Here we go. Hey, switch game. 382, last 50. Black. Rush the whip.
They go play action. Cousins. Oh, he's going to take a shot right. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. We wanted excitement. How's that for excitement on the very first play?
Yeah, they had it in their head. They were going to test the secondary right off the bat, but they were up to the challenge, and he had a convoy in front of him. I thought he was going to bring it back all the way. Instead, they'll settle, and that's really a wrong word, isn't it? They'll settle for really good field position.
On first down, Burks. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Von Bell up to make the tackle.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Okay, just like that. Just like that. Motion. 50.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
So they've been unable to capitalize on a great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9.
He's coming.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And it's caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the play. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Let's go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Not the start that they were hoping for. The interception on the first play of the game. It leads to 6 points the other way. How do you rebound from here?
Yeah, a little bit of humor. Got to laugh that one off, and not the ha-ha, that was very funny, but kind of like, can you believe that just happened? Let's go out and play now. Let's just start over.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be. Right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Vanderbilt's own Oren Burks had the tackle defensively.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, Cook. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Here we go, here we go. Jim.
On third down, Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Preston Smith comes in for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. And look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
A very solid gain of 27.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Shift. Tight dog. Watch the safety creep. Inside.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. 8 yards on the run there, and that trims it to a 3rd and 11 coming up.
Check. Walk 54. Easy.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He wants it all for the end zone. And incomplete, almost intercepted. Had a great shot at picking that off in the end zone. And now 4th down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time. But...
yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And that will go out of the back of the end zone. Way too much mustard. Not a good punt, and it will come out to the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Now Cousins. And Diggs has it. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8. So first and 10 now from the 30. Cousins gives way to Cook. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the first quarter. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Preston Smith able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Here's Lachlan Edwards now, standing just outside his own goal line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Jet bombers. Crunch. Slam. Box it.
Rodgers now on 1st down. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
And that's when he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
It leads to 2nd and 10.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming to 50.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. A gain there of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rodgers, and he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. From 19 yards away. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Cook. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Check, 42's the mic. I got you.
On second down now, it's Cook. And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Cousins from the gun on third. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now off to the races, down the right side. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. Let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a third and very short. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Tighten up. Pull together.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here. Packer pressure, and down he goes. The safety, Adrian Amos, comes crashing in for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely he's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. To try again after the sack. Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Watch the screen. Tighten up.
Cousins. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Taken in at the 22. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get in position for at least 3 points.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
The throw complete to Beebe. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Cousins again. And this is Cook with a grab. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down. They'll throw again. Cousins. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Now Greg Zuerlein. We all remember the 57-yarder that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. Now a timeout coming here defensively. As on 4th down, may as well make him punt it. Now Greg Zuerlein. We all remember the 57-yarder that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. Well, this is a guy who is already among an elite group of kickers that have hit from 60-plus in an NFL game, but that's a tough ask to try and get him to produce another one here.
You're exactly right. It's elite group for a reason, isn't it? No small feat for him to hit it from that distance. This one doesn't go through, but I always marvel at those guys because it's the same approach every time, the same smoothness when they swing their leg. Doesn't look like they're putting anything extra even when they're kicking it for 60-plus.
They'll run on 1st down. Burks. And some room to run now. And another mistake here defensively as a flag is down on the tackle, and that's going to tack on 15 more. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So after the penalty, we'll have one final untimed play here before halftime.
You got nothing.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Recon, 132 fighter. Show it.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line. Well, they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Check. 6-6. Pull it high. Leave it. Bring up 48.
Cousins now from the 50. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. Extra point attempt to come here. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously possible.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Preston Smith. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Yellow.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now, standing just about on his own goal line. Fielded just inside the 30. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll bring out 4 receivers. 3 of them being sent to the left, 1 to the right, 2nd and 4.
Hey, take 26. Shift. I got one. Hey, seam 6.
Now Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Cousins. Open man is Higgins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Cousins now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
3rd and short yardage, Cousins. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th.
42's the mic. Watch the pass. Mike 42. Yellow.
They'll indeed go for it. It's Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. High throw, but he makes the catch. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And that will be incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us, is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
They converted once earlier in this drive, but they'll roll the dice here again on fourth down. Cousins to throw for it on fourth. And he's able to find Diggs. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That pickup goes for 25. What a flip of the script from fourth down to first. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They run it again with Cook. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Single, slot. Hey, you're on an
On third down, Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. No gain at all on the play there, and that'll bring up fourth down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit. For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Blue 58. Hey, 88. Mike's 54. Mike's, hey, exit. Okay.
On play action. Now Rodgers. Man open. It's St. Brown. He's got it. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down. Rodgers now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. A big play there on the catch and run. 58 yards. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far, and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
They're enjoying a fourth quarter advantage. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Coverage there by Von Bell. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line.
I got him. Hey, 88.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Rodgers now to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
And I guess not content to get another 3 here late. They'll try to add 6 more as they go on 4th and goal. Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. He had 3 touchdowns already, but won't get a 4th here. And the Vikings, they come up big down near the goal line. A 1st down throw for Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he's got some space here. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 35 yards on a play that started back inside their 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. To throw is Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his 1st NFL sack. The throw over the middle taken in. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. First down, here's the run with Cook. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Check curls, check curls, check curls. Check 31, check 31. Hey, Ken.
On 2nd and 12, Cousins. And his throw here's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. 3rd down here. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Zebra. 42's the mic. Yo. Hey, Zoo. Here we go.
Now Cousins. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Rashawn Gary in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon. Cousins to throw it. And Diggs has it. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play.
42, Vikings 10. Greg Zuerlein set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. To throw, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Packers, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they too will exit with a 2-1 to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit. And for Charles Davis, saying so long, everybody.
Big numbers, 100 in a bag, that's a big number.
Count it, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see much pesto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, I'ma pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those. No